Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2017 with Newcastle United. We're up to episode 2 and today we're going to try and get through I think maybe 6 matches if we have the time. So we'll take on Bristol, Rotherham, Brighton and then Derby, QPR, Wolves. So not easy opposition by any stretch, but I've got Villa and Norwich after that as well. So this is a bit of a tough period and hopefully we can string together some victories, but you can see the inconsistent form we've been on so far in this save. It is still early doors, so I'm not changing too much despite the 2 defeats. We have reduced the number of team instructions. Somebody in the comments mentioned that maybe there's a bit too much going on the pitch, so I've restricted that down to 5, but whilst at the same time trying to maintain the flow and style of football that I want us to play. So a few changes to the team for this match against Bristol. Paul Dummett's coming in at left back, Grant Hanley's in at the centre, and I think that might be actually. I was thinking about taking Anita out, but we don't have a wealth of choices in centre midfield, so that's a position I really need to strengthen before the transfer window comes to a close. But let's jump into this match, see if we can get a performance than we did against Reading when we were beaten unceremoniously, and get another 3 points on the board and hopefully start to build the foundations of our title-winning season. Brian's put that ball in, and Bemba wins it back brilliantly. Now Gale on the ball. He's got players around him. John Joe Shelvey, one of them. There's Christian Atsu, looking for a give and go. He's got players in the middle. He swings it in. There's Anita. Atsu to Anita, and we're 1-0 up away from home against Bristol. Darlow sent the kick long. John Joe Shelvey finds Anita. The ball just spread out. We're playing the balls over the top. Gale's in there. Instead, Magnuson clears the ball up. And Bristol can counter-attack here with O'Dowda, but Hayden wins the ball back, doing that role as a defensive midfielder. But again, we seem to be playing these long balls over the top. I'm not sure why that keeps happening, so I might have to have a look at the instructions again after this match to see why they keep doing that. Freeman puts it in, and there's Peck off the bar. Hanley clears it out. Just a couple of minutes left for our team to hang on. Bristol restricted just 1 shot on target at home, but they're coming at us again now with Tomlin. O'Dowda getting the ball in, but Lascelles is there. O'Dowda again, out by Hanley. Bit too much pressure. Tomlin on the ball to O'Dowda. Oh, and it's gone in. Aaron Wilbraham scores in the 89th minute. We've been 22 shots, so dominant today. Here are Bristol. Shelvey wins the ball. Gouffran with it. He sends it back to Darlow. And Wilbraham scores, and they've turned it around. In the last 2 minutes of the match, the team has just completely switched off at the back. And we're going to lose this match 2-1, despite having 23 shots to their 7. 12 shots on target, only 1 goal. We have lost it. And I don't think you can explain that. I don't think that's our tactics. Our tactics are starting to work. They're coming together. But that was shocking. How have we lost that match? We've now lost 3 of our first 4 games. We're going to have to another play around with the tactics because we seem to be playing a more Leicester than Barcelona style of football. That's not what I'm going for. So I want to switch it up, hopefully retain possession, short passing, maybe slow the tempo down. But yeah, we've lost. We've lost to Bristol. We're 19th in the league. And I could get sacked by the end of this episode if this keeps up. Quite a few changes for our Capital One Cup match against Rotherham. This is not a tournament that I'm going to worry about particularly much. So a few players coming in where there are just tired players. You might notice Darren Gibson has joined the club. We signed him for £3.3 million from Everton. Maybe a little bit more than I would have liked to pay for a player of his calibre, but he's a good 3-star player in the team, so he can fill in on a rotation in midfield because we are lacking numbers there, and hopefully we can bring in a high-quality central defender before the window closes. Paul Dummett having to play in there today. Otherwise, the team doesn't have too many changes. Hayden in at defensive midfield, Diame at centre, and Rolando Aarons is coming in on the left flank. I have changed some of the player instructions and replaced them with some wider team instructions, so we'll see if that makes any difference. I want to try and get us up to that 60% possession mark, because that will at least, hopefully, stop us conceding goals, even if we maybe don't score as many as we might like. But it's going to be a tinker job through this episode until we find a formation that starts to work. I don't feel like we did too badly in the last match, but they had 60% possession and we conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes right at the end of the game. So Bit of work to do. Hopefully the players will stay fit and fresh rather, right until the last few minutes of the game. But who knows? I'm not too worried if we do go out. So another experimental game. Forward into Brown, and there's the lead for Rotherham. I had the feeling they were going to take the lead. We've been on top, but we haven't been converting our shots into shots on target. And Rotherham have the lead. Corner from Matt Ritchie. In towards Dummett. Cleared out. Lazar's there. Ritchie will get another chance. He puts it across. Dwight Gale. It's gone in. Off the goalkeeper, I think. It's gone down as Gale's goal, though, and we're 1-1 now just before half-time, and it's thoroughly deserved. Oh, Vernon Nita's given away a penalty at the corner. I thought nothing was going to happen there, but apparently he must have had a hold of the shirt or a pull or push. Doesn't matter. Rotherham have got a penalty. Here's Forster-Caskey with it. And Darlow with a good save. Lazar clears it. Well, the 90 minutes are up and we've still not had the breakthrough, so we're going to extra time. Ball's come through to Dwight Gale. He skips his man and scores straight into the top corner. And we're 2-1 up in the 106th minute. Dwight Gale with a goal. Free kick from Matt Ritchie. There it is, a misery compiler, and that will secure our passage into the next round and give us a valuable morale-boosting win. I think the stats are a lot more as I would have liked them to be from our tactics, so I'm not going to make any changes in this game. We have come out with a win, we've had the possession, we've had the shots. I think this is a tactic we should maybe go with and give it a couple of games without messing with it. It's a good win in the end. It was hard fought and we could have lost it in normal time, but we managed to come through at the end. Our legs just paying off. And now we need to turn this into league form instead of cup form. Just looking at our transfer history, because deadline day is just a few days away and I don't think there's going to be any more players coming in or out. You can see that we've also signed Joe Gomez from Liverpool for £7 million. He's a very good centre-back for the team. And I said that I was after a centre midfielder and a central defender to just balance out the squad a bit more and have a bit more strength in depth. And Darren Gibson and Joe Gomez. Darren Gibson's probably not going to be in the team for much more than 1 or 2 seasons, but Joe Gomez will hopefully be a good long-term partnership with Lascelles to set up that defensive rock for the rest of this save. The players going out, we raised a lot of money, £18.75 million, mainly from Paris and Colback. There's another maybe £6-7 million that will come from those deals in add-ons. So we've made quite a big transfer profit this season, which I think is always a good thing to do when you're in the Championship, because some of those players are going to start to get a bit unsettled as the season unfolds. So hopefully we won't have much of that as the season develops and we can focus on winning matches and climbing up the table. But I think our transfer business has actually been quite good so far. In terms of the squad that we're playing for this match at home against Brighton in the league, Mitrovic is fit enough to start up front ahead of Dwight Gale. We've got Atsu coming back in on the left. Diame and Anita fit to start in the centre, as is John Joe Shelby. And in the defence, Hammers starts on the right. Lazar on the left with Mbemba and Lascelles in the centre. Joe Gomez is on the bench if we need him. I'm also going to put Darren Gibson on the bench. Oh no, he's not quite fit. We'll let him sit this out. So yeah, this is the team that we will be using. Hopefully we can carry on the high possession and high chance creation that we started in the last match, and this tactic will prove fruitful for the rest of the season. Lazar with the throw very early in the match. Shelby to Diame. Looks like a Brighton player's picked up an injury, but Diame is running past them. He's gone past 2-3 players and scores a screamer. What a goal from Mohamed Diame at home. And we are 1-0 up against Brighton. When Brighton have got a chance straight away looking for a reply. Bulldog on the ball. He's slipped past the defenders, puts it across to Murray, and it's 1-1. And we switched off immediately from kickoff, and Brighton are back in it at 1-1. And Mbemba winning the ball very well there. John Joe Shelby picks up Matt Ritchie. He's lost possession. And there's the ball over the top for Bulldog, and Brighton could be about to make it 2-1. And there it is 2-1. And looking at the stats again, I'm starting to feel like this is a beta screwing with us, because we've been thoroughly on top. We've had the possession, we've had the shots, we've had the chances, and yet we're losing. Mitrovic turns his man, he's lost possession. It's come for Anita, now Shelby. Finds Diame, can we get the equaliser? Mitrovic is through and scores, and it's 2-2 straight from the half-time whistle. We're back on it, just as we scored at the beginning of the first half. We've scored at the start of the second, and we need to make sure that we don't concede immediately this time. Corner from Matt Ritchie, he puts it in, Atsu's in there, and Lewis Dunk with a foul. Apparently there's a push on Mitrovic, and he's going to get to take the penalty to put us 3-2 ahead, and it would be deservedly ahead. Mitrovic steps up and scores 3-2, and it looks like Mitrovic will become our leading striker this season. I like Dwight Gale, but I think Mitrovic has a greater potential, so he will start more matches. And this should be our second victory in the league. There it is. We have managed to come back from 2-1 down at half-time to win the game. A very good comeback. Gives us our second victory of the season. A very inconsistent start, but we've won the last 2 matches and we've had more possession, we've had more shots. I feel like this tactic is starting to work. So I'm not going to make any more changes. I'm going to see how it plays out for the rest of this episode and we can reassess from there. But hopefully this is the beginning of an upward curve. We're only 6 points off the top sort of positions, 4 points off the playoffs. So we haven't lost much ground despite 3 early defeats. But we need to make sure we keep this run of form going. 2 matches in a row that we've won. Let's make it 3. We are back after the end of the transfer window and the international break. We've now fast forwarded a couple of weeks to our away match at Pride Park against Derby County. The team is remarkably fresh. I think playing in the Championship means international breaks have a much bigger effect on rejuvenating the squad, as a lot of them won't be first team regulars. So just about everybody's fully fresh for this match, which is nice. Czech Tiarte has recovered from an injury for the most part, but he's not quite fit enough to play, lacking that match fitness. And Christian Atsu picked up an injury on the international break, which means Rolando Aarons will come in. Otherwise, not too much change. We're looking to carry on that winning streak after winning the last 2 matches, and Derby County will be a big test because they are currently 3rd in the league while we are languishing in 15th place. Very early attack for us with Shelby on the ball, picking out Mitrovic. Nice little interchanges, but we've given away the ball to Bryson. We're doing that quite a lot. Diame's got it back though. Out to Matt Ritchie, who cuts inside, has a shot and scores a screamer. We're 1-0 up inside 2 minutes. We did this before. We need to make sure we don't concede immediately. But we're 1-0 up. Derby looking to get that equaliser. Ball's played out to Butterfield on the edge of the area. We're just stacking up against them, but Forsyth's got in behind, and it's an own goal from Chancellor Mbemba. What has he done there? He's headed it into his own goal, and Derby is still yet to register a shot, but they've got a goal. Corner from Matt Ritchie, he puts the ball over, and it's in from Mbemba. He makes up for the own goal by putting us back in front, and we're 2-1 up at Pride Park. We are still leading here against Derby, but they are coming back into the game a bit more. We're still so dominant, nearly 60% possession away from home. Looks like we have found the tactic we want to use, but here's Wilson on the ball. He has a shot, and all the possession in the world can't stop that. It's 2-2 now, and we really need to work on our finishing and defending. Oh, Derby score at the death, but it's ruled out for offside, and that really would have been a sucker punch. It's bad enough that we've drawn this match. We were so in control. I'm going to tell the team I'm not happy with that result. We're just conceding too many goals. We're on 7 points now, up to 14th. Work still to do. 6 games into the season. Following that rather disappointing draw with Derby, we are away again, this time against QPR. Not too many changes from the team. I've taken off Aarons. I don't think he did enough in the last match. So Yoann Gouffron comes up on the left flank. No changes in midfield or defence, so I don't feel like the performance has been too bad the last 3 games. It's just somehow locking down the defensive unit and also trying to make our strikers a bit more clinical. Hopefully Mitrovic can do that today. Gouffron, I think, will help. He'll be a bit more experienced than Aarons has been, but we need to get another 3 points, because if we stay at this position in the table for too long, we will lose our job. We've had 9 shots and not managed to get 1 on target, and now QPR are coming at us. It wouldn't surprise me if we fell behind here. We have been the better team, I think, but if we don't get shots on target, we're never going to score goals. And QPR do just that with an outrageous shot into the top corner. They've taken the lead. We're into the last minute now. I think this will be the end of the game. We've had 19 shots, only 4 on target. We had the first 10, didn't manage to get a single shot on target. We're going to have to look at that, try and figure out what's going on, because we're going to lose this match by 1-0. It was an outrageous shot from QPR that's won them the game, but I feel like we deserve to win this one. And yet, we're going to go home to Newcastle empty-handed. Quite a few changes to the team today. I want to mix it up a little bit. The team's becoming quite familiar with the tactics, so it's getting harder and harder to blame those. I have restricted the amount of shooting our forward players will be doing, so hopefully they'll work themselves into better positions after missing so many chances in the last few matches. We are at home again against Wolves, so hopefully that will mean 3 points that we desperately need with just 7 points from 7 games so far. I am getting slightly worried. Morale is suffering. So Gale returns up front, Gouffron and Aaron starting on the wings. Hayden's back into the midfield with Gibson getting a first start, and Yedlin's in at right back. And that ball's gone through to Dicko, and we're 1-0 down. Almost out of nothing. A poor tackle from a defender releasing Dicko, and it's 1-0 to Wolves at St James's Park. Cavallero swings it in, and John Joe Shelby's committed a foul. So many of these fouls so far in this game. It's like Mike Dean's refereeing every match. But Wolves have a chance for 2-0. They've been by far the better team. And Cavallero, it's saved by Darlow. That's the second penalty he's saved so far this season, keeping us in the game. Now Mason. He's lost the ball. Gibson doing very well to win that back. Mitrovic into Hayden. There's Matt Ritchie. He's got Dummett out on the left. Can he swing it across? He does. There's Aaron's. Aaron's at the second attempt. He does get the equaliser. And we're back on terms with 10 minutes to try and find a winner. Just a few seconds left. I think it will finish as a draw. Unless Anita can create something. Hayden is on the ball. He finds Matt Ritchie. Is there one last chance? Dummett out on the left flank. Can't get there. And that will be the full-time whistle. It's finished at 1-1. Another disappointing result. And what a frustrating episode this has been. Not managing to get the wins that we wanted. We managed to get 2 in a row right at the start of the episode. But we've struggled since then. And in the league, 8 points from 8 games is unacceptable. The title is just getting further and further out of reach. And if we look at the board's confidence, I don't imagine it's going to be very high. We are doing okay. They're not too unhappy. They agree with me on the sale of Ayoze Perez, but the match's confidence is definitely fallen, down at 39%. I suppose they're happy that I bought plenty of money into the club. That will buy me a bit of time. But we do really need to start working on turning this around, because it's only 1 defeat in the last 5 games, but I just don't feel that's where we should be, and it's definitely reflected in the table. We're down in 16th place. A win would help push us up the table, but I imagine teams below us are probably going to pick up some points and knock us further down. And we are now 11 points off the lead with a game extra played. So the goal is to win the league to secure promotion. We've got to play Chelsea in our next match, which is not going to make it any easier. And then we've got games against Villa and Norwich. So we're in for a very difficult period. But that will be all for this episode. I'm going to have another look at the tactics, see if I can figure out something a bit different. Because we do need to start winning matches, and we're just not doing that at the moment. If you've got any ideas, do let me know. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see if we get sacked next episode. Or if we can turn it around. But thanks so much for watching. We had a lot of support for the first video. Hopefully we can get as much for this one. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.